pay return. So again, for now, when employers then are filing their pay return, they'd be required to declare housing levy and in the pay return. So the aspect of how to file a pay return, I believe, is already well known to all employers. So we'll just go through. You'll be able to log in to your iTax profile and of course go to returns, and under returns go to file return. So under returns, file return. Okay, just a minute. Ooh, don't know why. So you come to file return, and of course now you select pay as you earn, being the obligation for employers. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Sorry. So I think we'll just proceed. The employer logs into iTax with their credentials. Okay. 124. So that is it. The same way they file for PAYE, which comes with currently it comes with NITA, is the same way again. Now we are onboarding housing levy in the unified payroll return as a component of the unified payroll return. So currently the unified payroll return will have PAYE component, the housing levy component, and the NITA levy component, because all of them are mandatory statutory deductions, and of course NITA levy is a contribution by the employer on behalf of the employee. So they come to file return, and they select PAYE. Okay, why? Just a minute. So basically, we just need to download the Excel. I think we can still skip this bit and come back, because this test environment I'm using seems like today it has some issues, but oh, it was accepted. Very good. So it will come. You come and download the Excel, the pay return. So I think I'm sharing my screen, so wherever I move, you'll be able just to see I'm moving. Then I'll download the P10, which is an Excel. Currently, the pay return is still Excel based. So it is still Excel based. So Brenda, I believe the Excel is the one which is visible now.
Yes, it is very visible. We can see it very well from here.
So when you download the Excel return, please enable macro so that the formulas can work well in the pay return, because it has a lot of inbuilt formulas. I'll come and capture my PIN number. I'll come and select the type of return as original. Of course, with the communication from KRA that, and even the State Department, the Ministry of Housing, that the effective date is 1st July 2023. Then, of course, for the ones then who need to amend, then you probably have to come and file an amended return and still capture the same pay details which were there in the original return, but now include the aspect of housing. Because I've seen some of the taxpayers, they misunderstand, they confuse the aspect of filing an amended return, where they confuse the aspect of filing an amended return where they think an amended return only needs to have new changes. But now for us, you must still reinstate the original return in the exact way it is. Then of course now you have you come and include now the additional component of the housing levy. Assuming the amended return, the only thing which is changing is the housing levy. So you still import the pay details as they were in the original return, then you come and capture the housing levy, and then you should be able to file. But now for us, we'll continue with the original return going forward. And the entity type, head office, the return period, we can say, because the return period we are currently dealing with is, let's say, probably July. That's for the sake of this sensitization. And then, of course, it's a monthly return. So yeah, so that's basically, of course, you can file as a branch. It's still allowed. You can still file as a branch, and also you should be able to proceed and pay for housing levy, even because we have like the churches, we have like the organizations like KERA, like IBC. They have various branches in all their regions, and now they can always also file as a branch, which is already enabled in iTax, and also they can now proceed to make payments at either at head office or as a branch. So for employee details, allow me to I'll just use one PIN, but of course this is a bit where you can come and import a CSV of your 60,000 employees at once, probably. And then of course now resident status, we are at that point now where you can select the resident status of an employee. Is it resident, is it non-resident? Of course, so you can proceed with that. Then we have either primary or secondary. Of course, all these are for things like NITA levy. It's very straightforward that for NITA levy, both resident and non-resident, primary and secondary, they are all applicable for NITA levy. But now for housing levy, those are some of the discussions which we should probably be having in the Q&A amongst the panelists. But and even as you look at the definition of employment income, or who an employee is, then it's a very general definition, and probably we are seeing very few exceptions around that. But anyway, it will be probably for further discussion during the Q&A. So you capture the employee. I just need to capture something so that we proceed. Am I like the CEO of Safaricom? I've given myself 10 million. Okay. Former CEO, I think Olimo was the one. It was public knowledge. I don't know what the current one is currently earning, but let me not say I've divulged. But if the one for Kolimo, I heard it from the news actually that he was earning, the former CEO was earning around that. Anyway, I'm dreaming big, so don't. It's not a crime to dream. Anyway, so that's the salary of the employee. I'll not go much into, I think, how you file this pay return. You guys already, your knowledge in filing is already good enough. So I think I just need to replicate some values so that we can always go and. So the first changes I'm going to, of course, you have the NSSF for the ones who have been the NSSF now, which is at maybe tier 1 and tier 2. You can always have that 1080. For the employees, for the employers who are deducting mortgage repayments through the payslip for the employees, they can always purpose to provide that relief They can always purpose to provide that relief in the pay return, so that at the end of the year the employee is not in a refund position. So it's not a crime for as long as you're deducting these mortgage repayments through the payslip and paying the rate to the lender, and it's a mortgage which qualifies. You can always refer is it to the fourth schedule, those organizations, qualifying organizations for mortgage. And if some of your employees are having such mortgage arrangements, and again you can allow the relief, and the return will allow the maximum. Again, you can do the same for we'll come and capture the monthly relief of this employee, which is 2,400. And again, for the amount of insurance relief, employers can still allow insurance relief relating to the insurance premiums the employees are being deducted through the payslip, and the employer is paying directly to the insurance company, including NHIF. So I think as long as the deduction is being done through the payslip, and even as for KRA, KRA has already adopted some of these, so that you realize some of the KRA employees actually at the end of the year, and it is something which any employer can implement. So for let me use the example of NHIF now that it is a mandatory social health insurance for everyone. This person probably is in the 1,700 category. We are yet to have the new rates implemented. They're still, I believe, under some certain discussions. So it will be 1,700 multiplied by 15%. So you only allow 15% of the insurance premiums paid up to a maximum of 5,000 per month or 60,000 in a year. So you can have that as the NHIF relief of 255, which is 15% of 1,700 for this. And then, of course, now the PAYE. Of course, now for this example, what has happened in the back end is we've already implemented the new rates. Meaning, probably allow me to you realize for me the PAYE tax is 3.4 million now for this person. But allow me maybe to change the return period to June, and then probably you will see if there will be a difference. It is about 3,459, so that you can just see how the rates have already been implemented in the back end. Okay. So you come to, let's again come to the for the July one is about 3,450,000 something. You realize for June, the pay is now 2.991, but the July one is about 3.4. So for this person who is earning, I think about 400,000, about 400,000 and something, pay has gone up by about 400. So I think those are how the rates have been implemented. We are, for the guys who are earning up to 30%, meaning your salary is less than 500,000 per month, you'll never probably feel these new changes of the pay, because the new changes are only affecting people who are earning above 500,000, and the component between 500 to 800 is 32.5%, and the component above 800,000 is being taxed at 35%. So for us, the other commoners, me included, we are still in the 30%. That we are not feeling these new rates anyway. So let me change the 3107 2023. So you realize it's at 3 point. So that's the big difference, by the way. It's like a 469,000 change in pay for this person earning 10 million. Anyway, so 3,459 250. So that is the pay, and then you're good to go. If you have a person with disability, of course, you capture it under sheet C. I think I'll not belabor much on that. Focus of the day is on the sheet M, which is affordable housing levy. And under the affordable housing levy, you will come and now this sheet, the affordable housing levy sheet has always been with this pay return from around 2019. I know most employers are seeing it for the first time, and even we could hear some employers and even some of my friends and other people out there reaching out is like, Kerry, you've already put the housing levy sheet. How come it's still capping at 2.5? Of course, that was the original delivery. What you are seeing in the July return was the original delivery of the housing levy as it was in 2019, where it was still 1.5%. It was more distribution. Max, it was capped at 2,500 for both the employer and the employee, and it was based on the basic salary. So that is the original one. But now, of course, now it has changed, and also even the reason why we're having the ID was back then the contributions we are getting from you, they were feeding into your Boma Yangu. The Boma Yangu portal is the portal for affordable housing. So they're using the ID, those contributions will feed directly into your account statement in Boma Yangu, and every month your employer deducts and pays housing levy, including the people who are in self-employment who are also allowed to pay probably through the pay bill number. They'll also be able to have their details updated in the statement. So that was the whole reason of having the ID number, the member number being the ID number for that time. But again, even already we are having conversations to see, should we make this ID number not mandatory, and even between the ID number and the PIN, which one? So I think those are some of the things we're even currently dealing with it. So for now, I'll just capture a dummy ID number for this employee. It is mandatory. All these fields are mandatory for now. But I think in the course of the month, we might be making the ID field not mandatory. and probably one or two other things, some small changes again to just make your experience with complying with the housing levy slightly better, even as we have more conversations with the State Department for Housing. So member name, we have you can say maybe that is it. I'll have to, please, the KRA pin. The KRA pin is going to be validated. Then, of course, for myself, I think I'd already captured my gross salary in the other side as a basic. I don't think there is anything about basic. I believe for you guys, the basic salary is grayed out. I'm not sure why my return is still making it open. Some of the changes, I think, were to make the basic salary grayed out. But basically, anyway, the gross salary, the member contribution housing levy is being charged on the gross salary. And for myself, this example, it is 10 million. And of course, now the member contribution will be 150,000, and also the employer matches the 150, and the total now housing levy is 300,000. So I think nothing much. The sheet is there. The sheet has been there, but of course, some changes were done in the first week. I think around 2nd, is it 1st of August, we updated this. We came up with a new payee return, which came up with some few changes, removed the capping, and charged the housing levy on gross salary and not of basic salary. So you go to the tax due sheet. For my example, there's only one employee who is earning that much. I believe for all employers, you already know there is this row 11, we call it pay tax deducted from employees without PIN. So that's where you can come and capture some pay which you deducted from employees due to one reason or another beyond probably your control. You are not able to get their PIN by the time you are filing, but you already deducted the pay. You can always capture pay. But of course, once you get the PIN, we always encourage employers to go back and amend the return and move this amount of pay deducted from employees without PIN to either sheet B or C where applicable. Then for housing levy, you realize under row 15 of the tax due sheet, the total housing levy contributing members is 1, and the total housing levy contribution. Again, these numbers, these statistics will now start being used by the respective enforcement agency in trying to know if an employer is underpaying or overpaying, rather mostly underpaying a housing levy, because an employer who is having, let's say, 100,000 employees, and for housing levy only 20,000 are there, then of course someone else will start asking questions. How come you're having 100,000 employees, yet only for housing levy you're only paying for 20,000? So we're not saying the numbers cannot be different, but those are some of the quick reports ITAX will be able to generate for the respective enforcement agency to just be able to pick it up and start having conversations with employers on probably why, to just try and understand why the discrepancy between the employees who are liable for housing levy and the ones who are liable for payee. Then we come to NITA. Allow me to just capture again on NITA, because for NITA levy, again, NITA levy is a statutory contribution by employers. This one is not a deduction. At least housing levy, there is a deduction from the employee, and there is a further contribution or a matching of the deduction by the employer. For NITA levy, it's purely a contribution by the employer on behalf of the employee for the industrial training levy. For NITA levy, what we've done is, because NITA levy is applicable at the rate of 50 shillings per employee per month, what we've done is that it's applicable to all type of employees, resident and resident, primary, secondary, all of them at once. What we've done is for NITA levy, we've allowed the employers to capture more employees, and this could include casuals, could include interns, could include anyone probably due to one reason or another you may not have their PIN number, so maybe they have not been captured in sheet B and C. So for NITA levy, we've allowed employers, even if only one employee was declared in sheet B and C, you can edit this amount to even 100. So meaning you can say, as much as we encourage all employers to always ask for the PIN number of the employees and declare the employees in the pay return as whether they're earning above or below, even if they're earning below 24,000 per month, it is imperative, and we encourage employers to declare all those employees in the pay return, because the pay return is a return for anyone you are paying a wage or a salary. And of course, the pay return itself will calculate a zero pay for anyone earning less than 24,000. So it's not that if you bring someone earning 24,000, there will be some tax to pay, because the relief will be just equal to or even more than the pay which is taxable. So for NITA levy, we've allowed employers to edit the amount upward but not downward. So the minimum amount is the one from sheet B and C, but you can always add different scenarios. So at this point, we are ready to file our unified payroll return, which has the PAYE component, which has the housing levy component, and which has the NITA liability, NITA levy component. So I'll validate the return. Sheets are ready to be uploaded. That's fine. I think I'll go back to, for my case, this return period is still at, okay. I think I've just been logged out. Let me see if I can get the PIN number. Okay, that's very weird. Let me just log in again. I think the explanation have been logged out. Let me just log in so that we can upload this return as a July return. So I'll log in again. So I think my return periods are slightly behind. So just allow me to bring the return period to July for this example, so that we can upload we can use the example of July as a, because the rates change. For housing levy from June going backwards is different, but for us, I think our focus is now from July. Okay. We just see if again. Just a minute. I don't know why. Okay, my network has. Okay, I don't know what. Just give me a moment. I'm not sure why I just needed to upload the return. Okay, I haven't opened it. Yeah, my network is okay. Let me just yeah, my network is fine. Anyway, so at that point, let me just see if I can log in with
David, as you continue to try to log in, we can pick a few questions.
Okay, just so that maybe the flow is not interrupted, just allow me maybe just to show how to generate the payment slip, even if then we can now go to the question.
No problem. Okay. No problem.
Even if the test, let me just log in with probably my individual PIN. It's not that I'm an employer, but I should just be able to. So once you upload the return, which has both the unified which is the unified payroll return, which has both the housing levy component and the NITA levy component, what the employer does is, of course, he'll go to payment registration. How you generate the payment slip for PAYE, I think it's already okay for everyone. So you'll just come and select for this test environment. I think it's having some issues. Let me just see if okay. Oh, okay. So you can always come to payment registration once you've uploaded the return. So you'll upload the return with all the components. Then now you'll come to generate a payment slip. Okay, this one is having. Let me just go back to the other one. So once when you come to generate the one for PAYE, of course you'll select income tax. Then you'll select income tax PAYE. Please do not the PAYE. You'll have to for the example I've just shown you. You're going to generate 3 separate payment slips. You're going to generate a payment slip for PAYE, which is separate. You're going to generate a payment slip for housing levy, which is separate. And also you're going to generate a separate payment slip for NITA levy. So there is no editing of the PAYE amount to a higher amount to take care of the other two. So for PAYE, I think the payment is under income tax PAYE if you have that obligation. For housing levy, you'll come to agency revenue and you'll select housing levy. And of course, you cannot pay for housing levy until you file a PAYE return which has housing levy liability. So we don't allow you to pay housing levy before filing the return, because you need to file the return, which calculates the housing levy. Then you go and generate a payment slip for housing levy. The same principle applies for NITA levy. We don't allow you to pay NITA levy until you file a pay return, especially for the employers who have a pay return. So for housing levy, you'll come and select housing levy, and you'll select the period. I'm just using this as my example because I think the other one probably I'm not sure if it has come back. No. Okay, let me just see. It will be good to finish, but let me just see if because of time, if it's still the test environment is still having issues, we'll just proceed. Okay, so you'll come and select the period, let's say July 2023. Then for example, when you select July 2023, the system will pull the housing levy details as per the pay return, and you'll now be able to pay for the 300,000. You'll have to generate a payment slip for the 300,000 for housing levy separate. Again, once you're done with that, you'll come and select NITA levy, and under NITA levy again you'll select July 2023, and the system will pull the 5,000 NITA levy liability. You'll generate another payment slip. How you're going to make the payments, you'll address the checks or any instructions to KRA just like any other taxes, because KRA is the collector of housing levy, KRA is the collector of NITA levy. In our backend, we've already set up our system in such a way that it can communicate to the State Department system and the National Industrial Training Authority systems for the sake of them consuming, because they are the principles of housing levy and NITA levy respectively. So for you just make payment the same way you do for other taxes, and even how you address the checks. You address the checks to KRA or the Commissioner General. I don't know how you're addressing them, but of course, at the end of the day, is the payment, the instruction you're using, whether it is RTGS or a check or an EFT or mobile payments, money will be credited on your behalf in iTax relating to either housing levy or NITA levy or even pay as you earn, and in the back end, KRA will pick it up from there and share the details with their respective. Now, for housing levy and NITA levy, because they are agency revenues, we're encouraging you for them. If you want to confirm that the payments have been done, there is no ledger in iTax for agency revenues. So what will happen is you can always come to consult payments, and under consult payments you can always query you can probably put the date of today or even the date of any August, maybe from 1st August to 31st August. Then when you query, you'll be able to see the PRNs under this section. And when you see the status of the PRN moving from registered to received, if it's now received, it means KRA has received the payment. But of course, iTax also communicates to all employers through their iTax registered email. Once you make payments, KRA will always acknowledge that they have received the payments on that aspect. So I think that's how you confirm. Again, don't go look them in the ledger. You can always confirm by the email sent by iTax, or you can always come to payments and consult payments and be able to confirm that the status of the PRN is received. And I think with that brings us probably to the iTax presentation on just how to file for housing levy and how to make payments for housing.